Good morning, good afternoon to everyone on our What's New webinar. First, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us and walk through what's new for our health and safety July 31st, 2025 store release. So first, we'll kick off some housekeeping items. And before we jump in, there are just a few things to level set as we go through our webinar. So first, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen if you have questions. I believe you're on mute. So just make sure that as you're going through our presentation today, if you do have a question, put it in that Q&A, and we'll have time at the end to answer all your questions. The presentation is going to be recorded, so if you do need to drop off or share it with others, the presentation is going to be recorded and you'll be able to find that on YouTube. And then after the event, you will be prompted to fill out that short survey. Your feedback is very valuable to us. We host one of these every quarter, so we'd love to know what's working and what we can improve on. This is our safe harbor side. Today we're going to be covering our release, but if we do cover any forward-looking statements, please don't make any purchasing decisions based on that in today's webinar. And please continue to join us for our future events. So like I said, we will host a What's New webinar every quarter aligned to a release, but live on ServiceNow, there is a wealth of other events from health and safety from a product perspective, as well as all other ServiceNow products. All right, so let's get into our agenda. First, we're just going to cover a summary of what's new in our July release, and then we're going to take a deeper dive. So we'll first walk through our Contractor Service Center. We'll then walk through our enhancements to incident management and walk through our agent mobile experience. And then we'll go through our conversational intake and then any additional features. So from an overview of what we released in July, we first released our Contractor Service Center, and what this essentially is a dedicated portal for self-service and tasking of contract workers. So these are going to be external workers to the organization of your customer or yourself, if you are a customer. And when contract workers are coming on site, we do need to provide them a safe experience. Their safety impacts the safety of your employees and your organization. So we want to make sure that we're proactively managing that safety and reducing the risk of those workers while on site. The next feature that we'll cover is our conversational incident intake, and this is using our Now Assist capability to report health and safety incidents using our virtual agent. The goal of this is to encourage reporting of health and safety incidents in an easy to use and accessible way. Again, just providing another channel of intake for those safety incidents to encourage adoption and use for employees. And then finally, we have our agent mobile incident management. These were enhancements to our health and safety incident management. And essentially what this is on our agent mobile, being able to do some of that functionality that originally was only within Workspace. We've now brought that to mobile. And what this is going to do is empower our supervisors and field employees, maybe even EHS teams as they're on site to capture details of the health and safety incident and perform some of that investigation process. And then finally, for some additional features and enhancements, we're actually also going to walk through some updated Workspace dashboards. So we have updated our dashboards around highlights, health and safety incident management, as well as health and safety risk management. And we did that to increase insight into safety metrics and early indicators from within our workspace. Additionally, we've gotten quite a bit of feedback from customers asking for more out-of-the-box dashboards to increase time to value and ease of use while implementing health and safety, just to give some starting off points. So we have updated our dashboards and we're really excited to share those. As I said, any questions that you might have, please put in the Q&A portion. If you have any interactions or just want to say something else, put them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you throughout our presentation today. I'm also joined, I guess I missed introducing myself. I'm Claire. I'm the outbound product manager for health and safety, and I'm joined here today by my wonderful counterpart, Jordan, who is one of our inbounds for health and safety. So we'll both be here to answer any and all questions that you might have. All right, so Our first feature that I want to cover, and this is going to be a new plugin on the store, is our Contractor Service Center. Again, the goal of this is to create a consistent culture of safety for contract workers. Contract workers can be anyone external to the organization, so they might be there for a temporary project, they might be there for a day, a week, a month, and oftentimes these contract workers are performing high-risk tasks. They've been tasked out to maybe do maintenance or facilities or a certain project within the organization. So we want to make sure that we're providing that consistent culture of safety that your customers or yourselves are working so hard to provide your employees. The goal of this is to manage that safety as well as proactively lower risk for the organization by providing visibility across the safety, the tasks of these contract workers. Now, what they're going to do is access a secure external portal. In the past, contract workers would not have had access to ServiceNow. Employees would have had to report on behalf of those workers and or access everything via email. And so this is going to actually securely provide access to their own portal to receive resources. And then finally, the goal of this is to keep contract workers informed. So within this portal, they can action on tasks, assign trainings, report on incidents and observations, request permit to work, and complete JSA. So this is really going to be that full experience for them. We'll now walk through a solution demonstration of our Contractor Service Center. So first, to level set, what we've built off of our Contract Service Center was we first released our contractor management functionality. And we released this in November of last year. If you aren't as familiar about that, I do recommend going out to the community and watching the recording of the contractor management demo. But within this, we're in our health and safety workspace, and we have the role of a contract coordinator internal to the organization. Now here they can manage the companies that the organization is working with. At this point, this company has already gone through the procurement and vendor process. This is really about managing the safety of these contracted companies that your organization or your customer's organization is working with. Now, at a high level here, we can see our company information if we needed to track more details on it. And also at a company level, we can track documents. Now, Juniper here is a worker for that contracted company. She's been hired to do a project. Now, in the background, Juniper has actually been added to the SysUser table. She's been given two roles. First, she's been given our Contractor Service Center role. She's also been given a SNC external. So she is in the system as an external employee. And what that means is when we add Juniper to this contractor company that she is an employee for, we're actually going to automatically create a health and safety profile for her. Now, because she has that role of SNC external, her type is contractor, and this is read only. Juniper cannot be switched to an employee unless she has SNC internal assigned to her as a role. Now, again, at a high level, we can see all of the related tasks and information that Juniper has been involved with while working on site. So you have that snapshot of her. And when we've added her to our health and safety profile here, what Juniper is going to see is an email. So Juniper is going to get an email to log into our contractor portal here. So she's going to get her own username as well as a unique password. When she logs in for the first time, she's prompted to change her password. Now, Juniper is not in Active Directory. She is not a full employee of your organization. So this is actually her own personal email. This is actually my email, but it can be any email that Juniper has provided. Now what we'll do is we'll navigate to our contractor portal here as Juniper, and we'll walk through her access now. So now we're meeting up with Juniper, and Juniper has her designated contractor portal. Now, within this portal, we can brand the look and feel of it. So this is just an example of what we've provided out of the box, but depending on your organization, they might want to brand the look of your organization and provide additional content here. Now, as she logs in, this is going to be her area of action as well as information. So she's able to first see any of her tasks. These can be pre-qualification tasks that are assigned to her before she comes on site. Oops, apologies. I didn't have this. It must have timed out as I had this all set up. But she can upload her license and certifications here. She also is able to take trainings. So if you do have Learning Core assigned to you or downloaded into your instance, you can embed YouTube videos or courses if you have an integration to an LMS set up. So Juniper here is able to open up any of her actions and view those. She can receive an email notification about that, prompting her to log into this portal and take action on her tasks. Additionally, she can self-serve with the resources that we've provided other employees at within health and safety. So if she's working on site and needs to request a permit to work, for example, if she sees a hazard observation, perhaps she needs to partake or she has experienced a near miss. What we're able to do is view our record producer here. This is going to be the same consistent process that employees are viewing, but if you did need to make a dedicated record producers for those contract workers, you're absolutely welcome to configure that experience for them. Perhaps you need to have other information provided. So we'll report a near miss. Almost injured chemical spill. We can say that Juniper was our involved contractor. And as we can see, it's just a drop down for Juniper here. It occurred on today. We can also use her location, or if she's out in the field, we can use Juniper's map location. So this also empowers her to have geolocation reporting. You can see where I am in Boston here. And then we can submit our health and safety incident. So again, this is giving Juniper self-service to report incidents. She can report near misses, as well as observations, permit to work, and JSA. Finally, Juniper also has access to our safety register, so if she needed to view any safety data sheets as she's on site and viewing this information, giving her more visibility into the hazards and the chemicals that she's working with. And then last, she has the ability to view a knowledge base. Now, you can create a specific knowledge base for your contract workers if you need to provide them information that is more geared towards an external worker versus an internal. She actually can come in here and view that and see any information, perhaps health and safety contracts here. Now, that is our demo of Contractor Service Center. Again, this experience can be configured more for her. Notifications can be set up so that she's not missing any of this information. And this is a web responsive page. So she can also open this on an iPad if she's not just sitting at her desktop completing these tasks. So now we'll walk into some of the technical considerations for Contractor Service Center. So first, as I mentioned, users are going to be first added to that sys user table and given the SNC external role to indicate that they are external. And then we are able to add contractor companies and contractor workers either via Workspace, such as the process we just walked through, or you can bulk upload them within the table. And then once added to the health and safety profile, an email will automatically be sent to that contractor worker to create a ServiceNow login. So any email that they've provided. And then they're within Contractor Service Center, health and safety incidents, observations, JSAs, permits to work, knowledge and safety register, as well as health and safety actions are going to be available within CSC. And I have a little asterisk there. Those plugins do need to be downloaded in order for you to use Contractor Service Center and access those. One thing that we didn't walk through, we walked through just Juniper being tasked out actions on a one-to-one basis. But for example, if you do have a specific contact at that company, you can also task that contact within this portal, tasks on behalf of the company. So if they need to submit risk assessments or, more of their own process or reports from a company perspective, you can use this portal to task out that specific individual who's maintaining that relationship between companies. So it is flexible with the different tasks that can be assigned. Now, to activate our Contractor Service Center, you're first going to need to download the Contractor Service plugin. You will need to upgrade or install our Contractor Safety Management, and then also upgrade or install Health and Safety Incident Management, Health and Safety Core, and Risk Management. Do check out our store listing. It will have all the details and the dependencies of this plugin, but these are all the ones that you'll need in order to use Contractor Service Center. And before and after, just for those that are newer to ServiceNow or just seeing this for the first time, before we released this, there was no self-service for contractors, and everything was going through either email or employees internal to the organization would report on behalf of the contractor, and now we've provided them self-service. All right, so we're now going to look at our next topic, which is our conversational incident reporting. This is using our Now Assist capability to have AI guided intake for reporting safety incidents. So what we want to do is officially guide employees to collect key details of the safety incident. We want to deliver a consistent experience to encourage submission of incidents for increased visibility. And we want to reduce inquiries on the incident submission process to enable safety teams to focus on that investigation process. So we'll now walk through a demo of our conversational incident. This logged in. So this feature is going to be accessible via our Employee Center. And what we're going to do is access this through our Now Assist virtual agent here. So our virtual agent is going to ask us how they can assist us. And for our employee, they're going to say safety incident, and it will analyze our request. So we'll give it a second to analyze our request here. And it is looking within the context of our safety incident and within the resources of ServiceNow to generate a flow that makes sense for our employee here. So our virtual agent has now given us some instructions here. It's providing context around safety incidents. So if you did need to provide additional context for them, and for our employee here, they're going to start their AI request. Apologies, let me switch our user here. All right, so to get things started, we're able to choose our incident category. So these are going to be the categories that you have for your incidents. But for example, again, we'll go back to our near miss category and we will select near miss and submit that. Next, it's going to ask us where Um, uh, Walk me through what happened during the incident. And we'll say, I was walking and almost slipped on Pebble office. And then we can ask who was involved. So we'll say Joe was. And then we can say when it was. Select right now. And then we'll say our incident occurred in Boston. And our agent now, or our Now Assist feature has created our incident. It will summarize it for our employee here, and then we can say, do we need to make changes, add attachments, or submit? So once we've submitted this, it will create and assign this health and safety incident to our team. If we are an employee here, we can go back and view this incident at any time and make any updates within our employee center. Now, for our health and safety or conversational incident reporting here, some technical notes. So first, we do require that Now Assist virtual agent is enabled. And to do that, you will need to go to the CI admin experience to make sure that's turned on. Now, for our specific conversational AI health and safety incident, we need to make sure that the record producer is active. So if you go to your record producers, you can view that one. If you need to make any adjustments to the record producer, make sure you're doing the conversational one in order for this capability to work. And then you'll need to install Now Assist for health and safety. We our updated Now Assist for health and safety. And I do believe this is a typo. It is the 1.01. And this is going to be a new feature to submit health and safety incidents using Virtual Agent. Again, encouraging adoption of reporting health and safety incidents for many employees. They're used to virtual agents and having that type of conversation. So this is going to create that positive experience for them as they report those. All right, so we're now going to cover our last feature, our biggest feature here, which is our Agent Mobile Incident Management. With this feature, this is going to be an update to our Health and Safety Incident Management plugin. And this is going to empower teams with mobile incident investigation. So for those that are deskless, perhaps they're managers or they're just EHS team members in the field, what this is going to do is empower them to conduct on-site safety investigations from their mobile phone. Now, if they're in person, they're in the field, it's going to provide additional improved accuracy and insight because they're going to be the ones doing the investigation, seeing it, and taking that information and inputting it into ServiceNow. So there's going to be reduced in lags. They don't have to go back to their desk and input this information. It's really going to improve that efficiency. Now, from a technical perspective, what we've added is key details, people involved, root cause analysis, and ability to assign corrective and preventative actions. And then this is going to be on our Agent Mobile application or ServiceNow's Agent Mobile application, and there is offline accessibility with this. So now we'll walk through a demo of this feature. Make our app pulled up. So we're on our agent application here, and we're logged in as either a health and safety agent or a health and safety manager. Now, as we come in under quick links, we're going to be able to see our safety incidents, and we can actually even see that safety incident that we just reported by Juniper in the Contractor Service Center. And so if we actually did even want to work on Juniper's incident from the field, we are able to do so, pick that up. Now, at an overview perspective, we're able to see our record here. This is what the employee or ourselves have submitted. We also can see any related lists. So this is what we're talking about when surfacing some of that functionality that was existing only in Workspace before, but now bringing it to the mobile experience for our team members to work on. So with this, we can start adding our root cause analysis, our actions, people involved, our injury and illness. And then we also have our activity stream here. So we can see what Juniper has submitted, the field changes that she's submitted, as well as any other additional information that has been reported by her. Now let's walk through actually working on our incident here. We do have our form here. So this is, again, what Juniper submitted, but maybe we'll see that we'll make some edits. We'll say that the severity was moderate. We'll change this to work in progress. We'll keep it as a first aid. We'll change it to a first aid. And then we can add our sequence of events. So we'll go, Juniper was walking and slipped and required an ice pack. And we're able to use talk to text. So we're just making this a little bit more efficient. And then these are some fields that were not on our record producers before, but now we're surfacing them. So we can change this to sensitive content. We also can change this to close in field. We'll choose our location as Boston. I guess we don't have Boston in this one instance, so I'll just choose America's Campus 1. And then we can assign this to a member of the safety team if needed and submit that. Next, we can go in and start adding our related lists. Now, to navigate to each of these, you can just select the related list, which would be our root cause analysis. And then we can add our root cause analysis, slip water on the floor. And then we'll say there's a leak. So we can have our 5 whys here. We can submit that. Additionally, we can add as many root cause analysis as needed to this. Again, if we need to go back into this specific record, how we're going to navigate is through the little ellipsis or dots on the top of the screen, and we can either edit or delete those. Next, we'll go in and add some of our corrective and preventative actions. So here within our corrective action, we can make sure that the puddle that's causing injury is going to be cleaned up. So we'll say clean up puddle, water. We'll assign this to Abel. He's our first person here. And then we'll give him a critical because it's causing spills. And we'll assign it, make sure he does it by tomorrow. And say it's corrective. Again, our team member here can assign out as many actions as they need. Now, next, we're going to make sure that we can add our people involved. So if we had a witness here, say we have our contractor, Juniper is our witness, and then we can say that her email is, or we can say any. And then finally, we can add our injury and illness information. So we'll have our injured person. Our employee has been injured. We will say our Joe employee is our injured person as well. And then we will say first aid only, and we'll say that he began work at 8:30. All right. So now we have our injured people, we have our root cause analysis completed, and our first aid injury. Now, if I was working on my mobile phone like this, I also could go to my desktop here and pick up the incident. It will sync back. And then finally, if I did need to add any attachments, we'll say, here's Juniper. This is the real Juniper who's in all of my demos. And we'll say that Juniper is sitting here, and this is our details. So again, we can upload images as well. So when we're out in the field, we're taking this investigation, we can actually see Juniper here and her near miss. All right. So from an offline perspective, all of this is going to be available offline. The thing to note about offline. So first, if we do go offline, this we would need to make sure our cache is downloaded. Second, for offline, if we create a new incident here, so our incident input form screen, and we create this screen and we fill this out, it does need to be submitted and it will sync to an outbox. So that can be submitted offline. Second, if we have cached our phone where we have service, we lose service, and we go offline, we can have offline functionality for this whole flow that we just walked through. So we can edit the safety incident, we can edit the related lists, and we can edit the activity stream. All of that can be done offline. The only nuance to offline that I want to call out is you cannot create an incident and then go through the process of immediately adding the related lists because of that sync that when you submit originally this first incident form here, it does need to be synced to the server or to the instance, and then it will be held in an outbox. So both of those things can be submitted, be worked on offline, but there is just that nuance that if they need to do the entire process at once, they might run into some limitation there. All right, so from a technical notes, we covered that it is available offline, but what specifically is available offline? If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to put that in the chat. It does require our agent mobile application, and then we have seen how you can add incident details, sequence of events, root cause analysis, our health and safety actions, injury and illness, and people involved. To activate it, install or upgrade to V11 and for both incident and core. And then before, functionality was only available in Workspace, and after, we now have native mobile incident management available offline. All right, we'll now walk through our last feature, and these are our health and safety dashboards. So they are going to provide customers additional time to value when walking through implementations. They will also provide additional insight into health and safety. So I'll just quickly cover what they look like. They will be available directly within the workspace. They can be configured if you have additional reporting needs, but we have some powerful insight here, such as number of incidents. All of these are clickable and they can be filtered by date range as well as region, site, campus, building, or floor, which is our WSD location hierarchy. And then our highlights here, again, is going to give us an overview of important key metrics. So things like average length of leave, inspection findings that have been reported, as well as TRIR. Our incident management is going to give us a more granular look at incidents. So even things such as active incidents on a map. We have quite a bit in Colorado here. And then days since last injury and recordable injuries, as well as some observation reports. And then risk management is going to have reports on inspections, JSAs, as well as hazard and risk, so risk assessments and chemicals that are in our safety register. And then our establishment metrics, I don't believe I have any data in here, but we have our DART and again, TRIR. So these are going to be available once you upgrade your instance, and you'll be able to see them. If they are appearing with nothing, it is because they need some data in those little metrics. So that is everything for our What's New. To learn more about our release, I did publish a community blog. I also embedded videos within our community blog to watch. They're very similar to the demos that we just saw, but if you do need to share them amongst your teams. And then our docs page is going to have our release notes and then extensive details into all of what we've seen today. We do have our customer success. So within Now Access for Impact, customers can access this resource. So if you are interested in things such as impact, training and certification, and expert services, please scan these QR codes for more of that customer success. I do have some frequently asked, and I think we covered most of these, but is incident management available offline? Yes, it is. So if you're in an area of little or no connectivity, you can access this offline. Can we brand Contractor Service Portal? Absolutely. It is part of, it is a service portal, so you can brand the look and feel of it. And then can we configure the new health and safety dashboards? Again, absolutely. If you need to add additional metrics, any other dashboards, that would be in UI Builder. So thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. I'm very happy that you all joined us. If you do have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I will put my email in the chat. So if you do have any follow-up questions and you're going about your day and you're thinking about the features that you saw, I'm here to assist or direct you to the place that you need to be for those questions. But thank you all for joining. I hope you have a good rest of your day.